Nancy Baumann with Bookarma, and I'm known as the Book Professor, and I'm also the founder of Bookarma, the international book marketing platform. And I'd like to introduce a friend of mine, Matt Stephens from Inkflash. Now, Matt and I met at the Frankfurt Book Fair last fall, and we decided that we both have such unique offerings to help authors market their books around the globe that we wanted to collaborate in order to offer you just more options for getting your book out there and in the hands of readers. Now, I have never suggested that Bookarma is the end-all be-all for your book marketing efforts. You need to engage in many things, and Bookarma is a significant piece of that. But I want to introduce you to Matt because he has another incredible offering that I think will take your book marketing to the next level. So, Matt, welcome.
Thank you. Hi. So,
why don't you tell us a little bit just about what your goals are with Inkflash?
Sure, yeah. So with Inkflash, it basically started just over a year ago when at that point it was going to be a 3D bookstore. But then I quickly realised that it could actually be a lot more than that. And it could actually be a whole sort of book discovery site.
Sure.
So that readers can go onto this site and navigate around, looking at various books in these sort of 3D rooms. And then exploring, so it becomes like this sort of big labyrinth of book rooms.
Right.
That someone could spend a Sunday afternoon just happily.
Well, I would say that it's like walking. It's like walking through a bookstore, right? Except it's virtual, and it's so hard to describe what it is. So why don't you just show us?
That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. So this is the homepage for Inkflash, as it is. So just a quick thing about this. Notice at the top right, we've got the UK and American flags, so you can sort of switch between those.
Hey, Matt, can I interrupt you for 1 second? You have a lovely British accent, but if you could slow down just a little bit, we could understand you a little better. Thank you.
Sure, no problem at all. I mean, I do tend to race ahead a bit. So, so what I'll do is I'll quickly just leap into the Bookarma room. Let's show you that. And great, I think this is because it's showing on any meeting. Right.
Wow.
So, here we go. So as you can see, there's a video playing. I'll just mute the sound for that.
Okay.
So that you can hear what I'm saying. So within here, this is the currently most active books on Bookarma. So that when they sort of bubble to the top, then they appear in this room. And each of these books you can actually go up to. Like I could click on a book, sort of kind of look at it like that. Click to look inside the book, and so it shows which room or rooms that it currently appears in. So, for example, well, obviously we're currently in the Bookarma room, so there it is. There are all sorts of interactive features in the room. For example, if I
let me jump in here for a second, Matt, because I noticed that when you clicked on the book, it pulled up a lot of information about the book, the description, etc., and it looked like there was a link to buy the book as well.
Yeah, that's right. So if I choose a different book as well, just to demonstrate.
Yeah.
So this one, in this particular case, it's got buy the book links for Amazon.co.uk and Amazon.com, and simply click on that, just takes you through. There you go. On Amazon, ready to buy the book.
Excellent. So like Bookarma, when readers discover books, they have a way to purchase the book that they're looking at.
That's right. And it's pretty important. So we can have all of the book discovery in the world, but obviously there needs to be a way for the person to actually buy the book. So it needs to be quite close to the point of sale.
Yeah.
So just to demonstrate this, so you can actually click through these. I'll just zoom through these. These details are all on the Bookarma site as well.
Right.
And but this is really also just to demonstrate that authors who want to have their own author room can have this sort of thing going on inside their room as well, and all sorts of interactivity.
Well, one of the things that I think is particularly appealing is that you and I mean, we don't have any financial arrangement together at all. We met at the Frankfurt Book Fair and really, really liked what one another was doing and thought, hey, if we kind of pull together, we can offer authors more ways to have their book discovered and purchased by readers. But the Bookarma room you've set up is amazing. But, it's one room that we have. And so the books that you will see in that room are the ones from authors who have the most books campaigned on Bookarma and the authors who have the highest karma score. So this is going to rotate weekly. So it's a great way for Bookarma to showcase our top active authors. But if you're not in that group, you could do a couple things. You could add more books to Bookarma, and the more often you share books, the higher your karma score goes. Or you can have your own room, right, Matt?
That's right, yeah.
And so why don't we talk a little bit about what they could have in their own room? And by the way, let's go ahead and throw the price out there so that people don't think that they're, shut out of doing this because of the expense.
Sure, yeah. So that's the nice thing with Inkflash is that you can actually have your own room designed and themed around your book. It really doesn't cost that much. It's in UK pounds, it's £10 a month or $15.
It fluctuates around $15 a month, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
And so if they have their own room, what would be the benefit of that?
Probably the best way to explain that is that if I actually go to one of the rooms, I'll just go back to the main page here. And zip over to this person's room. So this really just demonstrates the sort of room that you can have and what it can provide for you. So this one has a book trailer video actually playing in the room. I'll just mute that. So, and then this particular author's books all arranged nicely. So this particular chap, he writes a lot of Roman novels, so we've got some sort of Roman themes going on this side of the room, and then he also writes a lot of World War II fiction that's set in France. So that's sort of the other side of the room. So he's got his own Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. So this author has several books, right? But I know that you have authors that have just single books on Inkflash as well. And,
that's right.
And one of the things I wanted to point out that I think is so cool about Inkflash is that when readers come here, you see that, like there's a doorway that says Tony Rich's historical novels. Can we go through that door, Matt?
Sure, yeah. Just before I do, I'll just demonstrate this, because another thing that authors can do is they can supply the back covers and the book spines to the book. So if I turn that one around, then it makes all the difference for that. So you can actually...
I love it.
It's really... It turns a book back into a physical object, rather than just some sort of flat image that's on the screen. So
that's the 3D part, right.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, if I go through this door then, into Tony Rich's room.
So I guess what my point was is that, before, we're going to go through this doorway, but my point is that readers wander. It's like being in a bookstore or in a library or in a place like, I would almost compare it to an art museum where you go into different rooms and all. And so, but they choose their own path. And the reason this is important is this is how readers discover new books. And so we went into a new room and it looks totally different from the room we were just in.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So in that regard, what we're actually doing is setting up so-called book trails, so that these haven't started to appear yet, but that there'll be signposts. So like this door over here would have a signpost over it saying historical fiction book trail this way. So it kind of guides you from room to room.
So it's like a trail of breadcrumbs, so you don't get lost, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it would very much be in an author's interest to have their room positioned somewhere along a popular book trail, sort of the most travel that people are going to be.
Of course. Right.
And so if I could walk through it. Actually, just before I go through that, so this particular author, when I set up this room, gave him this castle to populate the room with, and he actually really went to town with it, because there's also an online room builder. If people want to, they can.
So authors can build their own rooms, right? They customize it with
exactly.
whatever their branding is and the theme and look and feel of what their particular genre is. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. So this particular author really went to town with that, and actually extended his castle out, so that it's got all this over here as well.
Yeah. And so, like you said, they could also have a book. If they have a book trailer, they put it in there, and it plays like a cinematic movie, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then also all sorts of other ways that you can add content into the room. Like here, this is from the author's blog feed, from their RSS feed. So when they blog, when they post something onto their blog, it automatically appears here. And then clicking that will actually take them through to that author's website.
So this is a great way for an author to keep everything about what they're doing as a writer up to date. It has their blog, can have their trailer, they can add books, they can change the look and feel of the room along the way to keep it fresh, right, Matt?
That's right, yeah.
And then people can discover and buy their books. So
yeah, so I'll just walk through this door as well, just to demonstrate the book trail. Still on historical fiction, but just completely different style of room now. This one's actually very minimalist.
I'm thinking I'm going to walk off the pier in this room. It's a room with no walls. But you see that this author has 3 books and not, an entire, huge room of books. So, but what would be an advantage? Okay, so we're talking about $15 a month. Let's talk about an author who has 1 book. How would they benefit from having their own room?
Sure. So, in some ways, it's actually preferable, or it can be preferable, just to have a single book in the room, because then the room becomes more like an interactive, almost a book trailer, and it's a sort of 3D interactive book trailer that you can walk around inside and explore. So, you can have features that are specific to that book, like character descriptions that you can click on, obviously the book trailer video, just stuff that's to do with it, and then so
it becomes very focused on that one book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? I would almost compare that to. Of course, I totally admire authors who have multiple books, but anything that's really crowded is stressful to me, and jammed in. I can remember going into department stores and they're having so much stuff packed in the aisles. I just turn around and walk out because I can't take it in. And certainly graphic designers understand how to use open space. And so that's a very applicable principle here as well.
Yeah, very much. So the temptation at first was to create some huge rooms that were just packed full of books, like a big supermarket. But quickly realised that it wasn't a very pleasant experience to be in a big room like that. So instead we've got these slightly smaller rooms that have just got fewer books in them.
Well, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Bookarma room. We're going to have the books that are trending in there, the ones where the authors have, this is how we're going to reward our active authors, those who have, the most books on Bookarma, and those who are most active in sharing other books, because it's about giving first. So, and what is this lobby?
Right, so the lobby is basically back to the first room, so it sort of completes the book trail. So we walked through a few rooms there of historical fiction, and now we're sort of back at the start. So then you can choose another doorway and walk through, and round we go. So also just to demonstrate, we've got Inkflash tweets here, so you can actually add a tweet wall into your own room.
Oh, cool. So they can add their Twitter feed as well as their blog feed. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. And we're just adding Facebook as well, so that they can see.
And Facebook, cool. Okay, so can readers actually, if they go to Inkflash and they think, I want to find a new romance novel. Is there a way from there? I'm imagining that in the beginning they can, say what genre they want to explore and be able to do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So I suppose because there's one thing that really distinguishes Inkflash from somewhere like Amazon. So on Amazon, people tend to go there when they've got a specific book in mind. So it's more of a book search. Whereas with Inkflash, it's more book discovery.
Exactly.
So as a site grows, because it really is a brand new site. I mean, there's quite a lot here already.
Yeah.
But in fact, the site's only been live for nearly 2 months, so not that long at all. So as the site grows, we'll start to see more of these book trails. So it's a way of discovering books. So it's not so much about book searching, more about book
discovery. It's about discovery, and that's what authors want. That's why I like collaborating with you, Matt, is because on Bookarma, the authors will, authors will share other authors' books through their social media, and it's very targeted because who follows authors? Readers do. And then it's sent out and they receive it on their Twitter feed or Facebook right now. But what I love about this is a front end where readers can just come and browse and discover books. And it reminds me, about both Bookarma and Inkflash remind me a little bit of Netflix. Netflix suggests things for you, which is sort of like Bookarma suggesting things for a reader. And I can also go in the front end and just browse movies by genre, etc. and all. But I like that we're collaborating together to help, readers discover books, to help authors connect with new audiences globally. And so that front and back end of it is, it's a very good combination. So
that's right. Yeah. So what I could also show in this room is also to partly answer what you're saying about when someone's just got one book. I mean, if they are a bit worried about not having too much else to put in the room, they could actually put in a shelf with books that have been an inspiration to them, or books that they recommend. And when they do that, then if I escape out to the front page for that particular room, then it shows all of the books that are featured in that room, which means that those get picked up by Google.
Oh, sure.
So it's another nice way to make it.
Well, it is because authors, the way we market books is socially, and readers want to know you. They want to know about you, and I always say, authors were really not in competition with each other. People are going to always buy books. So if you put things in there that were inspirational to you, then that enriches the reader's life too, and that helps them to feel more connected with you. So I like that as a suggestion as well.
Yeah. So along those lines, what I could also show, if I actually just to show a different one on there, go into the fingerpress room. So this is a publisher room. So you notice that so far all of the rooms have really been focused on authors, but we can also set up rooms for publishers as well, if they do want that. Then,
well, you know what? That's such a great idea for them to be able to feature their books. Maybe they want a room for their new releases, or for their bestsellers, or for their just the different genres of books that they publish. Another way of discovery.
Yeah, that's right. So this book that we saw earlier, if you remember, that was actually in Heike Hightower's author room.
Yeah.
So I scroll down through their activities for that book, and it actually shows the rooms that book appears in. So if somebody's doing a virtual book tour, then what you could do as an author is put a guest book onto a shelf into your room, and then there's a nice sort of reciprocal thing, like a payback.
Oh, yeah.
It means that your room will actually appear in this list for that book.
Well, what a great idea. That's another karma thing of giving out. Like if you were supportive of other authors, it's like if you like my book, maybe you'd like this one too. But the author gets to control what other books they would actually share and recommend. That would be more like a recommendation.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah. So if I click through to that, then it just takes you straight to that. Oh, right, it crashed. That's on the...
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Well, Matt, is there anything else you want to tell us about Inkflash?
I mean, I could actually talk about it for hours, really. But,
I know. As far as the benefit to our authors, what did you envision as far as Bookarma, an offering for Bookarma authors?
Sure, yeah. So, what we're offering for Bookarma authors is 10% off an Inkflash room. So as I mentioned earlier, so an Inkflash room would be $15 for a month or $150 for the whole year. Mm-hmm. So I guess if you think about if a Bookarma book promotion is $1.99, then that actually gets you 10% off an Inkflash room for a year, so it kind of pays for itself immediately.
Okay, so Bookarma is $1.99 a book per month, and you're saying Inkflash is $15 a month for a room, not a book, for a room, and you're offering it's $150. Oh wait, no, I'm good at words and not at math, so whatever. 150 times 12, or 15 times 12.
Yeah, we do an offer on that, so it's $150 for
so it'd be $150 for the room. Awesome. For the year. I just don't, that's incredible. What a great offer. We really appreciate that. So, Matt, you and I will work together to see how we can direct our authors to you and how they can identify themselves as Bookarma authors. And of course, you'll be able to validate that because you need to be campaigning your book on Bookarma in order to receive this benefit. And of course, like I said, we can validate that because we have a collaboration with the books that are in our Bookarma room. So, we know who's campaigning on Bookarma. So, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. So, I guess, I mean, the main thing really is just that anyone who's watching this is just to urge them to go and take a look at Inkflash. I mean, obviously I've demoed it here, but just try it out, and it really is a fun way to spend some time just exploring books.
Yeah, and I would encourage you to do that. I have the web address here. It's just very simple, inkflash.com. Go and browse around. Can they, I know that the Bookarma room is not live yet for public display because we're still tweaking some things, but they could start to explore that. And look, Matt and I are here to help, both of us. We have both invested, well, all of our time and almost all our money, right, Matt, in developing these tools for you so that you can connect, so that authors can connect with new readers around the world. We want you to be successful. And while we're losing our shirts on this, we are offering this to you because we believe in what you're doing. We believe in books. We believe in broadcasting ideas around the world and, impacting lives. So we're here to help. So I hope you will take advantage of what Matt has to offer. I hope that you will put all of your books on Bookarma and let us help you. Authors often are so suspicious, and I get that. They've been ripped off in a variety of ways. We're not doing that. I guarantee you that. So every time you send a support ticket into Bookarma, it goes to me. Every time you send something in at Inkflash, it goes to Matt. So just connect these faces. We're not anonymous, and we're here to help, and we really want to help you promote your books and have readers discover the incredible things that you've written. So really appreciate your time today, and we will hopefully see more of you on Bookarma and most of you on Inkflash. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.